And so I don't want to just give the message that we're scrimping and saving, because we scrimping and saving in order to grow and expand. So everybody has all of these thoughts about money, and people hold their own personal beliefs about making money, spending money. People say you only live once, so spend every penny. I know people like that. And people are like, well, I am waiting until, retirement. So I'm trying to get there as fast as I can, so I'm saving every penny that I have. And then I have people who are in the middle who are like, well, I know that I need to spend some in order to enjoy this life now. And I know that I need to save some in order to enjoy this life later. And I think that I am that person. But we all have our own personal thoughts on money, right? And so some of the ones that I have, I want to share with you in this video right now. In my top one, and I don't care what people say, that money is not easy to come by. You see all of these YouTube videos where, hey, make $1 million in a minute, or make $1 million this year. And I'm not saying that those things aren't possible, because we all know that they are very well possible. We've seen people who've done it, right? And so we know that it's possible. You possibly know somebody who's done it. I don't personally know somebody who has taken $1,000 and flipped it into $1 million over a year. I don't know that person, right? I do know people who have taken years to build a fortune. Personally, I know those people. And so I lean towards, hey, it's going to take some time in order to build money, or build wealth. And I know that it could happen, right? So that's why I try all of these things, because I know that it could happen. I know that it is possible to build it rather quickly, but usually it's more slower than anything, right? And so I'm still sticking with my thought that money is not easy to come by. Point blank, period, right? If we take the skills that we have and we're doing different things like, maximizing our 9-to-5 life, where you are scaling up and you're constantly moving up the ladder and you're changing positions, possibly changing jobs in order to get that 10 to 15% raise, right? I see you out there doing it. I see you doing it, but that stuff ain't easy. That ain't easy. Getting up every day, building on the skills that you already have, none of that is easy, right? I'm not saying that it's not possible. I'm just saying that it is not easy. For me, I've said on several videos that I have 4 degrees, and I'm going to just flat out tell you right now that the money that I'm making don't equal those 4 degrees. I know that. But what I am doing is I am doing different things in my life to scale up, to build more income, to have more coming in, and hopefully one day I will truly see the fruits of that labor. I know that I have seen growth in my income over time. Definitely. I know that the degrees, the work that I put into the degrees has helped me get to where I am right now, but I know that it's not where I want to ultimately be. I always talk about how I want to be retired by age 45, and I do believe that I can do that, but I do know that there's work that I need to put in order to get there, right? There's still more money to be made. There's still more hard work to put in, and still more time to spend in my 9-to-5 in order to ultimately get to where I want to be. I'm just saying that it's not easy. It's a bunch of stuff that you have to do in order to get from point A to point B. And point B is the income that you actually are truly comfortable with, right? The income that you really want. That's point B. So how are you going to get there? You have to put in the hard work. It's not going to be easy. I don't care. I don't care who says what. I don't care who going take $1 and flip it to $1 million. It's totally not easy, and that is my first real thought on money. Yes, we know that millionaire status is possible. We know that making hundreds of $1,000s is possible, but we know hundreds of $1,000s a year, right? Or even a month. Like, listen, there's some people out here doing it a month. We know that it's possible, but you have to have the right thoughts. You have to have the right skills, and you have to be moving in the right direction in order to do that. And the question ultimately becomes, are you willing? We know you're able, right? Because everybody has various skills, but are you willing? Are you willing? Another thought that I have is that people poop away the money that they do have. So you going out here, you making the money that you do have, but then you just using it frivolously, right? Or you are just out here making it rain, and you YOLO in your life. And I'm not saying that people don't have different thoughts and ideas on how they should spend money. We talked about that in point number 1. Yeah, you got different thoughts. We all have different thoughts on how we should actually be spending it. But then the question becomes, are you maximizing it? Are you using it to make more money? Are you using it to make your life more comfortable? How are you using it? How are you using it? Right? I ran into somebody the other day who is a school bus driver. Amazing. Shout out to those folks out there who are holding it down, getting our kids to and from school. We need you, right? And she told me that she lives such a comfortable life because her bills, her mortgage is paid. Her bills are low, right? So she's living a comfortable life because she set that stuff up for herself, right? She set it up for herself, right? She used the income that she had in order to pay off the debt that she did have so that her life could be easy. And that's what she told me. I live a comfortable life. And shout out. That is amazing. That is truly, truly amazing. And that's what I want for all of us. I want us to use our money to maximize it in a way to make sure that our life is as comfortable as we can get it to be. Or we are using our money to make sure that we're living our lives in a way that we see fit, in a way that we want to live it, right? So regardless of how much money you make, how much income you have coming in, what I'm saying is use it. Use it wisely. Maximize on what you have, or maximize what you have. Just use it wisely. And my third point is that slow and steady wins the race, because nothing is going to come to you overnight, right? We're in a microwave generation where we think that if we're going to put it in the oven, it's going to pop out in a minute and be done, or put it in a microwave oven and it's going to pop out and it's going to be done. No, that is not what life is. That's not what life is. That's not what's going to happen, right? And so don't live your life like that. Don't live your life expecting things to come quickly, and then when they don't, we quit, and then we don't follow through in order to get to the point of success. That's not what we're doing. It's not what we're doing. And the last idea that I'm going to share with you here, I was starting with 3, but I thought about something that I was going to talk about in another video, but I'll just share it here because it's one of my real thoughts on money. There are 2 sides of it. 2 sides. You have to make sure that you are living within the means that you currently have. You have to make sure that you're living within the means that you currently have, while at the same time growing those means. So it's kind of like 2 things. Like right now I am here. So right now I am living within those means. I'm not overspending on this. I am just making sure that I just live comfortably with the money that I have. I'm not borrowing from anybody. I'm not, wilding out on these buy now, pay laters. I'm living within my whole means. I'm living within my means. So I'm doing that here. But then on the other side of things, I am building and growing my income. I'm not staying stagnant because although I'm living within my means, maybe I'm not comfortable with where I am right now. So on the flip side, I need to make sure that I am steadily growing and that I'm scaling up and that I'm just making more income. I'm bringing more in. And it's important to do both things. I know sometimes on this channel, I always talk about, I usually talk about living within your means and sometimes living frugally and making sure that we're not overspending. But go back and check out those videos where we spoken to those entrepreneurs about how they are scaling up, right? How they started with nothing and now they're providing a means for themselves above and beyond what they need. And we do have more of those videos to come. Shout out to all the entrepreneurs who have agreed to have that conversation with me. But again, it's 2 sides. You can't overspend in one hand and think that you are going to build wealth or scale up in the next. No, because when you're living within your means in one hand, there's margin. And you're using that margin, you're using that extra money that you have to put into whatever you're going to do in order to scale up. Right? So you're using that margin, you're using that extra money to build that business. You're using that much extra money to invest. You're using that extra money to save. You're using that extra money to invest in somebody's business. You're using that extra money to buy real estate. You have to do both. It's both. Like it's 2 things. You're not just living frugally just to live frugally so you can stay within that space or stay within that income for the rest of your life. You're not just doing that. You're also doing the other thing, which is building upon what you have. Both are necessary. Both are equally important, right? And so I don't want to just give the message that we're scrimping and saving, because we're scrimping and saving in order to grow and expand and invest and do everything that we need to do in order to grow our income. That's what we're doing. And then once you get to the income that you want to be at, you good. When you get there, then you're good. So we're trying to increase the number of subscribers on this channel because more than you need to hear this message. More than you need to hear this message. So we wanted to get out there. So I'm asking for you to please subscribe and share the video with anybody else who may need to hear this message. Subscribe. Just please subscribe.